My brother, Paul, and I are not close at all. We have very different worldviews and have incompatible personalities. I can tolerate him, but I would never consider him a friend. He's been married to Lisa for 1 or 2 years now, and they have a beautiful daughter together. My girlfriend, Amy, and I were invited to celebrate my niece's first birthday. Most of the family was invited, and it would be the first time I would have seen them all together. I only see my family once or twice a year, with a few exceptions. Amy and I arrived a little earlier than we were supposed to, and instead of waiting in the car, we decided to go in. The first thing I noticed was how calm my brother seemed to be in contrast to Lisa, who was frantically running up and down. When he saw Amy, he immediately handed the baby over to her and got a beer to sit down and watch TV. Lisa was clearly struggling, and he was content with a beer and Netflix. I don't want to be rude, and maybe this was a one-time thing, but it bothered me how uninvolved he was. He handed Amy a baby with a full diaper with vomit on its clothes. Eventually, Amy, Lisa, and I finished everything. The house was clean, the food was ready, and Lisa looked ready to host a big gathering. We all paid zero attention to Paul. When my family arrived, I thought everything was going well. I avoided Paul and enjoyed speaking to my family. After we had sat down to eat, Paul approached me, drunk, thanking me for helping Lisa. I did not want to be around him for long and moved out of his way. He was very persistent. I was ignoring him, but he started talking about Amy. Protect Amy like a real man. Or you've got a great woman by your side. You know what, whatever. It was slightly odd and mildly uncomfortable, but I was able to brush it away. Amy was trying to sober him up a little bit before the cake cutting, so she was selectively hearing. We tried to get him to stop talking and drink water. However, he had a lot to say about Lisa. He was complaining about how pregnancy ruined Lisa's body and how a baby ruined his life. Amy and I kept looking at each other awkwardly, and we were soon going to leave him be. We didn't leave the conversation soon enough. He was complaining to me about his intimate life, or lack thereof, and commenting on how desperately he wanted to have intimate with someone fit like Amy. This made the both of us extremely uncomfortable. Amy left, quickly apologizing to Lisa. I told him that he was a disgusting, gross man who needs some help before I left. Apparently, this made him super upset and he started wailing at the party. Paul told everyone that the reason he was crying was because of my words to him. He got over it quickly, but a few people told me I was wrong to shame a father on his child's birthday. I could have probably left without making a statement. Am I the idiot? Wrong to shame a father on his child's birthday. Father. Lol, okay. Your brother could not be bothered to help his wife prepare for his child's party. One-time thing or not, that is not acceptable. He then handed his baby over to the first available woman to deal with a diaper and soiled clothing. During his child's birthday party, he made remarks about how said child ruined his life, ruined his wife's body, and compared her now ruined body to someone he finds more attractive whom he'd prefer having intimate with. His brother's girlfriend to put a cherry on top. You are not the idiot and he should be ashamed of himself. I hope Lisa figures out how to leave him. No, he barely even acknowledged the both of us. My girlfriend went to go say hi to him, and he just handed her the baby like it was a piece of plastic. That's really awful. I really do hope Lisa can find her way out of this relationship with him. Your brother already resents a 1-year-old baby, and probably Lisa for doing it to him. They're both better off without him around. Not the idiot. You shamed and unsupportive misogynist at a child's birthday party. You should reach out to Lisa to see how she's doing. Is she okay with him talking about her like that? If she wants some help putting his stuff in boxes, that sounds like something to rally the people who care about Lisa over. Amy told Lisa all the terrible things he said about her. Lisa didn't seem too upset, though it was said over a phone call, so I can't properly gauge her reaction. She sighed and quickly changed the subject. Maybe she's heard it before or maybe she doesn't want to dwell on it. I'm not sure. So I have a younger brother, 13, who is a child prodigy. I won't give too many details, but he's well known in the academic circles of our country and attends an institute of higher education. Naturally, people are impressed with his intelligence and he's quite popular and makes friends easily. Our parents dote on him and have never told him no. As a result, he has become very arrogant, condescending, and disrespectful to people he deems below him. That's just about everyone. Lately, he's been openly talking about a girl he's crushing on, and much to his dismay, she's quite unimpressed with him. He often complains to my parents and me about his failed attempts to befriend her. I understand why she dislikes him. On one occasion he invited her over for a school project and I overheard their interaction. He was constantly talking over her, dismissing her ideas, and even calling them stupid. 99% of the time he was talking about himself and his accomplishments, being in news articles, his future plans, etc. The poor girl obviously seemed uncomfortable. He quizzed her about her career aspirations, and when she answered he proceeded to point out it was a bad career path. Today he was once again complaining about her and said that she's obviously intimidated by his superior intellect. He claimed that all girls only like stupid guys and that women are emotional. Sadly, my parents agreed and kept assuring him that this girl is obviously uncomfortable with the fact he was so accomplished and awesome. After hearing this nonsense many times, I finally told him that his crush dislikes him because he behaves like an obnoxious, know-it-all idiot. I explained that he'd probably have a chance if he showed some modesty instead of talking down on this girl so much. So my parents obviously think I'm an idiot for saying this. They said that it was horrible of me to say this to a 13-year-old and that he's just a child. I told them that he needs to realize that his personality is becoming a problem and that his crush dislikes him because he's an idiot, not because he's too smart. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You actually are doing him a favor for him to learn this lesson now. Your parents are setting him up for failure. Regardless of intelligence and ability, a huge part of success is also likability and the ability to get along with others. I have seen several brilliant people get nowhere because of their complete lack of emotional intelligence. This reminds me of a scene in The Social Network. You are probably going to be a very successful computer person. But you're going to go through life thinking that girls don't like you because you're a nerd. And I want you to know, from the bottom of my heart, that that won't be true. It'll be because you're an idiot. Not the idiot. Sometimes the truth hurts. Not the idiot. Your parents are most at fault, however. They're raising a narcissistic monster. They need to teach him manners before it's too late. I booked an Airbnb retreat for me, my husband, my SIL, and her husband about 4 months ago. The Airbnb was not dog-friendly, and I made that perfectly clear, as my SIL thinks her dog should be welcomed everywhere, no matter the cost. She said she would find a dog sitter, and I had no reason to question it. The Airbnb was out of state, about 15 hours away on a really nice beach in Tampa. My husband and I flew down, and my SIL insisted on driving, so she left roughly 24 hours prior to our flight. She said it was cheaper to drive than it was to fly. When my husband and I arrived, my SIL and her husband were already sitting in the driveway. When they saw me pull in, she had asked if we got the keys yet, which we had because we met up with the owner along the way, and she said, "Oh good, give them to me quick so I can get Brute instead without being seen." I just stopped dead in my tracks and was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" She kept saying things like, "What? I couldn't find anyone to watch him. Or he is old and housebroken. I don't know why anyone would be ignorant enough to say no pets allowed." And basically just kept making excuses as to why she was in the right. My husband is just sitting there completely dumbfounded and shaking his head. I just got back in my rental car and left. I got a refund from Airbnb and dropped the keys off with the woman and explained the situation. She told me I could still stay there because I'd been honest, but I told her no, the place was too big for just my husband and me. We end up staying at a significantly less expensive hotel. I paid almost $4K for the week for the Airbnb, but only spent $1,800 for the week at the hotel. During this whole time my SIL is blowing us up saying she can't afford to stay down here. My husband and I make a lot more than SIL and her husband, so we had agreed to pay for everything, and says she didn't bring anything with her to snack on and couldn't afford prices of crap here and whatever. I just straight up ignored her because, in my eyes, she tried ruining my trip, which I 100% paid for. My mill is down our throats saying the least we could have done was give them some money for food instead of leaving them stranded, and I told her, nope, they can just drive back home and get food there. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. If a person can't find a dog sitter, they stay home. If a person can't afford snacks or food, they absolutely have zero excuses for going on vacation. Not the idiot. She ruined her own plans by refusing to follow explicit rules that she clearly knew she was violating. She left a day before you, so she had plenty of time to discuss bringing the dog if she really had issues finding someone to watch it. It seems to me that she never seriously considered leaving the dog behind and thought she would get away with it if she didn't mention it before arriving. Not the idiot. People like your SIL give those of us who travel with our dogs and rent vacation homes a bad name. If it doesn't allow dogs, I don't rent it, period. I would never ever pull the kind of selfish stunt she did.